Let me start with a number, 9%. 9%, that is the share of Americans who support Trump naming government buildings after himself while serving as president. CNN's chief data analyst pointed this out this week. 12% of Americans believed that the moon landing was faked. 10% of Americans believed that the Earth is flat. The share of Americans who support the renaming program has fallen below both of these numbers. This is not primarily a story about conspiracy theories. It's a story about a project the White House apparently believed would be popular. The Kennedy Center, the Gulf of America, the Victory Arch near the Lincoln Memorial, and then there's this $250 bill with Trump's face on it. 9%. I have another number, 35. 35 is the number of doctors and health professionals who have signed a formal letter calling for Trump's removal. Among them is, for instance, Dr. Henry David Abraham. He's a professor emeritus of psychiatry at Tufts University and a former member of the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. And that is the organization that in 1985 received the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, this letter describes what it calls a rapidly worsening, reality untethered, increasingly dangerous decline. It notes that 5,000 nuclear warheads are ready to launch solely upon his order. Politico published an assessment this morning from people close to the White House, and one person put it directly. You passed a big beautiful bill, crime is down, the border is secure, and they're not out selling what they've done. Instead, Iran is consuming every meeting and every news cycle. The Freedom 250 celebration for America's 253rd birthday is falling apart as artists back out. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh, not a Democrat, his own base, posted over the weekend that the event has become a Trump rally where Trump will talk about himself for 90 minutes. He said he was pretty pissed about how it had all been handled. Trump is backing off the $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund. Two people close to him say that he's been leaning towards scrapping it for days. A federal judge has also reopened the underlying lawsuit to investigate whether the settlement involved fraud on the court. That means investigating whether Trump essentially colluded with his own government to settle a case that he controlled on both sides. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has banned journalists from its press office. The reason given: speechwriters from what the administration now calls the War Department share the space and they work with classified material. The acting press secretary called this the most transparent War Department in history. That War Department where major news organizations had already lost access last October, and a federal judge had ruled some of these restrictions unlawful. An appeals court paused that ruling, and now the New York Times is in its second lawsuit. Russia launched hundreds of drones and missiles at Ukraine overnight. The New York Times analysis is clear. This is a sign of weakness. Russia lost more territory in May than it gained, and that is the first such months since Ukraine's 2023 counteroffensive. Russia is losing roughly 15,000 to 20,000 soldiers every month, and the intensified bombardment is an attempt to gain leverage before peace talks restart. There are several connections with the war in Iran, and one is that the closed Strait of Hormuz has actually been an economic lifeline for Russia, giving it oil revenue to keep fighting. And that connection, the Iran war, helping fund the Ukraine war, is not being discussed enough. Today is primary day in California, New Jersey, and also in 4 other states. The California governor's race will tell us something about the direction of the Democratic Party, and the results will come in late tonight. Today is also the 73rd anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's coronation. She was 27 years old, she reigned for 70 years, and she never gave a press conference. She never stated a political opinion. She outlasted 15 prime ministers, and whatever you think of the monarchy, maintaining that silence across 7 decades, that required something close to superhuman self-discipline. I'll be back soon.